Good morning, guys. So you joined me on another Super73 commute from Croydon to central London to Bloomsbury. But today we're starting we're going past Streatham Hill station. So it's yet another alteration or diversion, whatever you'd say, to the route. So I don't think I've ever brought you guys along on this route with me. And while we're so early in the journey, why not give me a like, subscribe and share? And anything you want to know about the journey, the bike, hopefully I'll be able to answer it. Please put a question down below in the comments. So I think the nice thing about this route is once we turn the corner, we're going downhill virtually all the way to Clapham. I think it's Clapham North. Very different gradient, so the start is the steepest. You know, it's quite nice that you can save on battery as well. Hopefully as well we're going to make it to the college to work on a full battery, because it was, as of when I turned it on, it was on 80%. Ideally, if you'd want to start with 100%. And I think we had 50 something minutes as well. Don't think it was footage that I'd filmed that I was trying to delete, but in getting ready for work I didn't really have time, and I was trying to get out of the house at 7:30 a.m. and it didn't happen again. Trying to get to the college at 8:30, but it's not going to happen. It's very unlikely that it's going to happen. It's going to be more likely that I'm going to get there between 8:45 and 9 a.m. So this part of the route actually, at some point to the right, is going to run parallel with the way that I go to work most days, where I go in the back streets and ride past Brixton Prison. On the right, I think if I turned up there, that would take me to my usual route. Definitely, I'm sure this one on the right. Yeah, definitely that one. So I had to start going a different way, as they had blocked the road off totally for roadworks, for doing something with the services. And I'd mounted the pavement, and when I'd come back off and got round it was quite muddy, so I had a bit of mud on my Dr. Martens, which made them, in a sense, look quite nice. Made it look like I actually used them for rugged stuff opposed to just walking around the college. So behind these houses on the right, the road has two Grand Designs houses. One that kind of has like a sugar cube design. I might have if you follow these videos, I might have mentioned it in another video. I think it was a couple that were designers, and I think there was an element of the home being a bit of a lived workspace. It was like really modern. It's so different to everything else on the street. And then the other Grand Designs house brings a lot more nature into it, so I think it has like more wood framework. If I'm correct, I'll probably go past and look at it and be like, it doesn't have anything like that in the design. You know, sometimes your memory can be a bit sketchy. See if possibly we can, you know? So I think it's the back brake, it's so dramatic. I was having this discussion with a person on YouTube where there was a video about the Rivian R1S, and the guy made the video. It was a R1S that had crashed. It had a bad crash, and he was going through, you know, how it held up in the crash, possibly kind of compared to combustion engine vehicle, and that Range Rover in front of us reminded me about it. But somebody said, oh, how do the crash barriers on the highways, in, like we'd say here, the motorway, hold up since it's like a 2-ton vehicle? And I was like, well, you know, it's funny how there are actually vehicles, and there have been for donkey's years, that are 2 tons or more. Then there was this comment from this person that was like, oh, it's funny how you have to have a license to drive armed vehicles of a certain weight. So I said, well, the point wasn't about what license is needed. It was about the vehicles driving on the highway. The Rivian R1S also is only sold in America. It's not sold in Europe. I don't believe it's sold in any other region. And in the States, like here in the UK, you have heavy goods vehicles, HGVs, using the same highways as passenger vehicles. So, you know, you have 18-wheeler trucks, as they say in the States, lorries, we call them here in the UK, which I don't know how heavy they are, but they're definitely more than 2 tons. And they go on the highways, and they have crashes where they might possibly impact with the crash barriers. So, you know, you would kind of think that the crash barriers are designed for vehicles heavier than 2 tons, so there isn't that much significance of the fact that this vehicle is electric. That's kind of, I think, what they were getting at in terms of its weight, because it's believed that most, if not, I think all production electric passenger vehicles are heavier generally than their combustion engine equivalents. But it seemed that this person wasn't getting it, and you know, sometimes it's just to that's a kind of for your own peace of mind when, I mean, I know, you know, it's kind of like my opinion, but I don't know, what do you guys think? That what I'm saying, that there were already 2-ton vehicles before electric vehicles came on the scene as mass-produced vehicles like, okay, say, the Nissan Leaf and the Model S, the Tesla Model S, which were, at least in the UK, the first 2 production electric vehicles from, I think it's like 12 to 14 years ago now. I think it's around about 12 years. But we've obviously had far heavier vehicles from way, way before that, decades before that. But then I did see, actually, this morning, when I was reviewing my own videos, I saw that this person, who I felt like kind of just wasn't really listening to what I was writing, liked the last thing I said. Like this vehicle, obviously more than 2 tons, and that would be going down the motorway. I mean, I asked my dad, because my dad drives, I don't drive, and what did he say again? The thing that I remember most was the fact of him saying that he actually wanted to watch the 6 o'clock news, basically more so than conduct the conversation on that subject matter. Which is very much like my dad's kind of thing to say. This isn't actually a route that I usually take, but again, you know, I talk about variety in journeys, so I've been this way before, but not on the way to work. When you know this area, it's crazy because So like 15 years ago, there was one tower, I think just one, if even that. Well, actually, yeah, where these brick buildings are, there was a BT office building, and that was it. You didn't have any of these skyscrapers. And now in a short space of time, you've got quite a lot. And it has been nicknamed Dubai on Thames. There's a really nice iconic bus interchange, Vauxhall interchange, a little further along, near to James Bond's headquarters. And the plan is actually to demolish it and build more of these towers, create effectively a town centre from this area to our right, because this area of Vauxhall doesn't actually really have a town centre, like a big gyratory that people pass through and need to get to other places. So yeah, this metal structure with the two prongs, I really love the architecture. I think it's so iconic. They want to demolish the whole lot of it. Another nice thing when you're only holding onto the bike with one hand and you're getting all shook up by over rough surface. Yeah, it was this morning. I was reading a thing about Holland, the Netherlands, that apparently they want to ban fat tyre e-bikes. So in the article they just called them fat bikes, but they basically on like the whole thing of what I've talked about of how, I mean, it didn't even talk about people using them to steal phones. I think that's like a big focus in the UK. I don't know if it's a big thing there, but yeah, this focused on injuries. So somebody in the who commented said the thing is that fat tyre e-bikes have like actually a 4-inch wide tyre. So they were like, well, what if the manufacturer just got around it by making it 3.5 inches wide or 3.9 inches wide or something like that? Yeah, the point was you're going to ban a bike based on how it looks, I think they mentioned that in Holland, if you have a fat tire e-bike, I think it's like one with a throttle. I think, if I remember correctly, in the article it said that there is an option, or they do expect you to do what I think they should do here, that you just do like a compulsory basic training and all of that sort of stuff, and then away you go. There's a guy back there singing his music. He's doing what I was doing today, and quite a lot of days just singing along to my music. Although I think he had headphones in and music. He was just feeling the vibe so much that he couldn't contain himself. Well, I love it when this happens, but it's not that regular a thing that I get to that light and it goes green really quickly. Or this one. Like there's a structure up ahead celebrating Hanukkah. I remember when we went to Philadelphia, that was when I became aware of that holiday. Looking at it for a while, I think that's not actually what it is. I think it's a platform with spotlights on it. But, yeah, when we went me and my mum and brother in the 90s went to Philadelphia, we found out about Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. I mean, it felt like in the States, yeah, it's a platform for spotlights. My dad was saying you don't get sports bars in London, but this building on our right, under construction, used to have a sports bar, or it was called the sports bar. I thought they were going to turn right here. and they're like, no indication. Obviously I've just got to guess that hopefully they're turning the same way that I'm turning, and that I'm not going to make a mistake and go up the wrong side of them and almost get turned into. Be interesting to see what this building on the left is. They've been building it for the longest time. I mean, I imagine on the ground floor it's retail because of the sort of they kind of got like a bay window. It looks like it'd be easy to see the displays. They could sort of like project outwards from the building. Probably be easy to see them down the street. Yeah, I've made a bad choice in coming this way because, as you might have seen in previous videos, this time of the day you get a lot of delivery vehicles, and the road they're generally about the same width as the road. So when they have to stop for whatever reason, blocks up the road and you're waiting for ages, you can't get round. Especially if it's the garbage truck, but fingers crossed it seems to be clear at the moment. I'll probably say that and something will stop in front of me and I won't be able to get round. I mean, obviously eventually you are able to, but you know, sometimes you get a bit impatient. So that's where I'm headed, the BT Tower in the distance, the purple LED screen at the top. So this morning is the last day of the short course. There's only 2 more short courses for the year, and this one has been on for 5 days. A really nice teacher, but yeah, I'm off on the weekend and looking forward to the end of the day. I've got to set up some stuff for today for the interior design short course. So it's been running for 5 days. And then I think both of the next short courses are Monday. Next week there's some first aid training as well. There's one morning where I've got to get to the college for 8:30, which isn't too bad because I've been able to do it quite a lot when I didn't even need to. I just have to be really disciplined, because for the longest time I haven't really wanted to get out of bed, and I wake up at 6:30, well, it's more like actually 6 o'clock or even before that, and I'll be in bed. Usually I set my alarm for 6:30, but I'll just be in bed till 7, sometimes like 7:15, with the idea that I want to set off on the bike at 7:30, but it never happens. It's always more like 7:45 or 7:50 that I end up setting off on the bike. So last night I came to this road, Goose Street. I had to drop off a parcel that I'd received because it wasn't quite what I wanted. It had a plug, a 3-pin plug, but what I really, when I got it, I thought about it, I needed a USB port, USB lead, so that I could connect this thing to like a power bank. So what it was, I ordered some LED lights for the bike, and the idea is that I'll get some see-through, like as see-through as possible zip ties to zip tie the LED strips to the bike, to the frame. And then one that I got, I made sure it's waterproof as well. Don't want none of those issues. But yeah, when I thought about it, I was like, I should have got one with USB, because where am I going to plug it in? I mean, you can get something like a jackery, but I haven't got money for that sort of thing. So yeah, I had to take it back, and Amazon said that there was a drop-off at the Tesco that we went past on the left. When I got there, after waiting a while, because I had to deal with something, a colleague said no, that they don't have a drop-off point. That was a bit annoying. Probably like just old information that popped up that hadn't been changed, hadn't been updated. Not too far from the college now. A bit gloomy this morning, but I hope it gets a bit warmer. It's not that bad, it's quite mild, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't rain, because I would like to go out in my break and make another video. But if you're still here with me at this point, and you haven't already, please do give me a like, subscribe and share. Hope you have a good day, guys, and thanks for joining me on this journey.